actually have told all my coworkers that, I started a new D&D campaign. They want to read about our adventures.
Okay, then.
All 400 of them.
Well, if you're willing to put down the information, then I suppose there's no problem with it.
Well, it also doesn't help. I get very bored at 2 o'clock in the morning. The kind of bored where video games just don't cut it.
Since I've been so stuffy recently, I've been having a little trouble getting extra sleep when it's late at night. That's why I've been trying to sleep longer. And so when I'm up, I actually have started reading SCP articles, like, in chronological order.
It seems like the worst way to get more sleep. I'm just saying.
Well, no, it's just because
it's called boring yourself to sleep.
I'm currently at, like, SCP, I think it's 121 I'm currently on, out of 2,999.
You know, when I'm trying to get to sleep, I read potentially horrifying stories about Euclidean creatures.
Well, they are horrifying. I mean, they're just stories.
That's funny, because the only difference between what he's doing to go to sleep and what I'm doing is I have people reading the shit.
Yours is on audiobook.
Yep. I find the scariest, most bloody fucking stories I can find.
No, my boyfriend does the same fucking thing. He listens to this thing called the No Sleep Podcast. It's all about horror. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Oh, the No Sleep Podcast. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've listened to it a few times.
People are fucking weird. I listen to Rooster Teeth's podcast to sleep. What is with you people?
Well, I've been wanting to read through all the SCPs anyway, at least all the official ones. And it's just been kind of an interesting way to get through them. And it's starting to...
Having this conversation, Tyler, I'm pretty sure my warlock in PJ's campaign is probably someone who would benefit from listening to horrible, gruesome stories just to go to sleep.
Probably, yes. I would agree.
Well, it's 6 o'clock now.
Then proceed to start then.
Well, it doesn't look like everyone's in the server.
Who's not there?
There's 7 of us. I see 6 people. Keith is here.
Yes,
I'm here.
And me and Tina are sharing, remember?
Oh.
And you're thinking of when I bring up my Mac for the Allegretto Overwatch?
I don't think that's what I was thinking of, no. But Dan's already resolved the issue.
Well, it's not like it matters. My Mac is in my office, and do we really want me walking back to my office to grab it real quick? No.
Not really, no. But anyway, so is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
yes.
Last time, in the first session, your characters visited the Tomb of Valxius, cleared out the goblins, and retrieved a magic item for an old tiefling wizard named Madislak Domine, who explained to you that the magic item you retrieved is the case for a deck of cards that gives people random powers, but at a cost. It permanently infuses their soul to the card. And according to Madislak, the only way to retrieve the card is for the host to die. So, having given you a compass, which Seraph has attuned to, in order to find the cards, you determined that of the 3 directions that it pointed to, the best one to visit first would be the one pointing southeast, which points to the tradeway which connects Neverwinter to Waterdeep.
No, before continuing, didn't we agree that the device could tell us what the card is that we're going after? Because we discussed that it would show us the card and give us the ability to exclude them. Remember?
Yeah, it will tell you what card it is, but it won't tell you who has it or what it does.
Well, what card is it? I'd like to know.
It is the 5 of clubs.
Okay.
The 5 of clubs?
Yep.
That doesn't help me in the least.
Oh no, it doesn't help you.
Because the reason that we kind of got that little bit of a bicker of like the voting and the Allegretto flipping a coin was because we didn't know what it did.
Well, no. See, the only reason that we made the stipulation that it tells us what the card is to allow us to more easily exclude cards we don't want to go after. Because otherwise, we would never know what cards we'd be excluding.
Right.
No, why would we want to exclude cards exactly?
Well, in the situation, go ahead, explain.
I was just going to say, if you ever happen to run into a card that you are incapable of retrieving, you could put it on hold and come back to it later. And then the compass won't point to it as long as you're excluding it.
Okay.
Now, how is the sending stones once per day?
Sending stones are once per day. They let you cast sending, and you are limited to 25 words in your message.
Oh god. So I wouldn't want to waste it on, since I have the sending stone, I wouldn't want to waste it on something like, hey, what does this card do? Yeah,
Well-
didn't name the card.
Well, Madaslak wouldn't be able to tell you just by you telling him the suit of the card. You'd have to describe what the card seems to already be doing in order to get more information about it.
Okay, so speaking of Zid, that bumbling idiot doesn't even know what the deck does?
He explained that the cards give a different power depending on the person that got them.
Huh.
That makes me wonder if he secretly wants the cards for himself because they'll give him specific powers.
Well, they wouldn't do him much good since, as you've seen, he has made physical contact with the deck of cards' case, which makes the rest of you immune to the cards, by the way. Not the powers of the cards, just none of you can be infused with them.
Yeah, as far as we know, we still haven't gotten a hold of a card to test that theory, so it could be a line of bullshit.
Kind of like my hairline.
Well,
You-
see, a line...
You are just
well,
a cacophony
speaking
of
a line
original
bullshit-
jokes, aren't you, Keith?
Well, no, because if you think about it, at least a line of bullshit, there's a line involved. With his hairline, there's no line.
And remember,
And the fact that we had to explain the joke.
and a lot of humor revolves around repetition anyway, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think dick jokes are so funny, apparently? Because it's the same dick jokes all the time.
Either way, before we move on, I wanted to leave this out of the first session just so that we could get through it all. But I'm going to explain a few mechanics now. Namely, how I'm dealing with inspiration. Now, I'm assuming you all have your character sheets open already.
Yes.
On your character
Yeah.
sheet is a list of personal characteristics that you chose that were mostly sampled by your background. They were given as examples, but you could have made up your own if you wanted to. Those characteristics are how you use and gain inspiration. Everybody starts every session with inspiration. At any time, you can use your inspiration to gain advantage on any d20 roll, as long as what you're doing involves one of your personal characteristics. For example, if you have a personality trait that says that you will do anything to protect other people, then if your action will protect somebody else, you can use inspiration on it. At the same time, once you have used your inspiration, you can gain inspiration by taking a setback. That is, you can impose disadvantage on yourself in a critical moment based on your personal characteristics. And once you've done so, you'll gain inspiration back. In this way, your personal characteristics will actually be useful to you, and you can get as much inspiration as you want over the course of a single session.
It creates a problem, though, in terms of like how general my traits are. You know, I mean, getting along with ghosts, that makes sense, and that will come up. But what about my second trait, where it says I love blowing my pipe in public?
Well, if you ever need to make a roll that involves blowing your pipe in public, like persuasion or deception, then you can add your inspiration
Or
to that.
competition.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind then.
And don't forget, between sessions, feel free to change your personal characteristics if you feel like there's something else that makes more sense for your character. You are not restricted to what you have already written. That
I
is,
appreciate that.
that is, after all, characters do develop, Does everyone understand how inspiration works?
Si, senor.
So we should all put one for our inspiration right now?
If you want, you don't have to. I mean, you all know that all of you have inspiration right now. Yeah, so don't be afraid of using your inspiration as often as possible.
Now, one more question about this before we move on. does this mean we can stockpile inspiration, or can we
No,
still only
you're
have one
You're
at a
still
time?
limited to just having inspiration or not having it. If you want to get inspiration back, then you need to take a setback.
Shouldn't you be saying to get inspired?
It's the same thing. You know what it means.
I know, I'm just joking around. Continue.
Now, what exactly do you mean by like taking a setback at a critical moment? Like, what dictates a critical moment?
Typically, I will tell you to make a roll only if there's a consequence for failure. So if you want to take a setback based on your flaw, for example, then you can impose disadvantage on yourself. And then once the roll is resolved, I'll give you inspiration, whether or not you succeeded.
Does that... Now, another question about my flaw then. Since my flaw is so very specific, wherein I take, where constructs have the fearful presence ability to me, does that mean that I just automatically get inspiration every time I see a construct?
No. You'd only get it if you took disadvantage on a roll involving being afraid of constructs.
Okay.
Yeah, you can only spend or gain inspiration from making die rolls. Okay? Now does everybody know how it works?
I understand.
Okay, so after visiting Madaslak Domine, the entire party returned to Neverwinter. The visit to Madaslak was only in the morning, so now it's the afternoon. The date is the 30th of Myrtle. It is the last day of the month. It is also the first month of spring. So that one's almost over. The previous day was the 29th. Now, you're all back in Neverwinter, and you need to prepare for the upcoming journey, because the distance on the road from Neverwinter to Waterdeep, assuming that you had to go all the way to Waterdeep, is 282 miles.
That's gonna take a while.
Well, it depends on what pace you want to travel at. If you travel at a normal pace, it would take you 12 days.
How much quicker will it get if we move at a quicker pace?
At a fast pace, it will take you 10 days, 1 week.
What
Okay.
detriments are there to going at a fast pace?
Well,
Read the damn thing.
yeah, there's
Yeah, if you would actually, there's a chart.
there's a chart about
wow! Li-
It's a big
Literally, those
Mul-
charts were just out of my view.
multicolored chart.
The center was in my top left corner.
Okay, so you can't
Those
forage
were
if you're going
just out of
fast. Can we move multiple paces in one day, or only one pace?
I would prefer it if you only changed paces at, critical moments. Like, you reach a place, and then before you set out again, you choose a pace and you stick to it. It's just easier to calculate everything, and you don't want to get too hung up on it all.
When it comes to my opinion, I think it's best if we just take the normal pace all the way there. After
Yeah.
all,
Foraging
After all-
is kind of necessary.
yes, and we can't afford a horse. We would need two horse and carriages to get us all there, and we don't have the money for that. So, yeah.
How much for a horse and carriage?
Right. One more thing I want to mention about shopping. In big cities like this one, you can buy anything on the adventuring gear list or any of the mundane weapons and armor in the player's handbook. You can't buy any magic items except for potions of healing, the common kind, and cantrip spell scrolls, whatever their price is. But you cannot buy anything at the base value. The base values listed are how much they cost to make, and merchants would be foolish if they sold their wares for that much. So everything
There's retail cost and straight cost.
yeah, so everything is sold for 150% its value. So if something costs 10 gold, it costs 15 for you. But you can haggle if
That
you want.
actually sounds, I believe, very correct.
Yes. Now, Dan did ask you a question, though. Did you miss it, PJ?
Yes, it did.
He had asked what the price of a horse and carriage was.
Okay, I didn't miss that, but I don't have it up right now.
Oh.
I'd have to look it up.
Okay, well,
He didn't miss it. He ignored it because he just doesn't have that ready right this second.
because there is also the option of taking, what are they called? Taxis? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, you can take a cab from town to town. It costs money, though.
Yeah. And I know they would cost more due to the number of people we have, but I don't know how much that would be.
Yeah. A cab between towns is 3 copper per mile. So for 282 miles, that's 8 gold, 4 silver, and 6 copper.
And that's per person or per carriage?
That's for the cab. And a cab can only carry 4 people, including the driver. So you'd have to get 3 cabs.
Yeah, sorry, I ain't rich.
No, we're just gonna walk the way.
Yeah, until you guys can afford your own wagon and horses and stuff, you're probably better off just walking.
Oh, back to my original question. How much are those?
Wagons? Let's see, where is my vehicle chart? Ah, here we go. That's for airborne and water vehicles. Yeah, here we go.
I guess since we're gonna... Oh,
Yep.
okay.
You can continue.
I was gonna say, since we're gonna have to be choosing our marching order, I assume we're pretty much gonna want to have the people with the best perceptions in the front and back. Who in the group has the highest perception?
Allegretto and Lizzie. However, they're also the characters with the best survival bonuses, which means that they would be the best at foraging.
Okay, then it's best to put one of them in the middle for foraging, and then the second highest would probably have to go in one of those positions. Okay.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
a cart is 15 gold. A carriage is 100 gold, and a wagon is 35.
Okay, so once we have
It's gonna
100 gold to throw around,
Yeah. Draft horses are 15 gold apiece.
so
Do you have to use a draft horse?
Well, riding horses aren't meant for pulling carriages, they're meant for riding.
Yeah, they have a different kind of strength to them.
Is there a
Translation,
different type of mount?
who's a rich bitch?
At the moment,
Well, I
no.
don't think we have 200 gold.
I'm kind of rich. Not horribly rich, but...
All of your money
I can
combined.
buy one draft horse.
All of your money combined. Wait, you can?
Yeah,
How'd you get 15
I
gold?
have 56 gold.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I
What
got it 50s too, so that's why I'm asking these questions.
I'm gonna say I've got 11 gold.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you got that much gold. I don't even think... Is that even possible
they-
to have that early?
They rolled for their gold and bought their own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and while I was buying stuff, I realized I didn't want to make another Grim, so I just bought one weapon and one thing of armor for Wilkes.
Okay.
He's a very simple man, so he just saves his money.
But yeah,
You know. Unlike me.
as for food and water, all of you need 1 gallon of water per day and 1 pound of food per day. The amount of each that you'd find each day is based on the forager's wisdom modifier. So you'd probably want a decently wise person at least doing the foraging, as well as someone with a good survival bonus. And you'll also probably want somebody helping them. Every person who helps forage adds 5 to the forager's passive survival. Moving at a slow pace also adds 5 to survival. If you get it high at...
Mr. DM,
Yes?
does this town have donkeys or mules in stock?
It's a big city, so I imagine it probably has some farmlands in the outskirts that has donkeys and mules.
Okay, so
Okay,
instead
who's
of
got a
paying 50
jackass?
So instead of paying 50 gold for this draft horse, we could always pay 8 gold for the donkey and mule, and it just can't pull as much. It goes the same speed though.
Well, let's see, each one can carry 420 pounds, so it depends on what they're pulling.
Well, the draft horse, it says carrying capacity 540, and the donkey and mule says 420. I'm actually looking at the handbook.
So am I.
And if we were horribly rich, we could get an elephant, and its carrying capacity is 1,320 pounds.
Okay, well, I'm assuming you guys all know... You all have the player's handbook, you all have the prices, so figure out what you're doing about traveling.
Well, Nick, we do got the cash. We could get a couple of jackasses and a couple of wagons.
I'd say hold off for now. Instead of just buying the cheap stuff, why not wait until we can get some carriages and some horses and are able to actually feed and take care of them?
So you guys aren't buying any mounts or vehicles?
I was only going to do it if someone else would pitch in.
Well, then the alternative is to simply stock up on water and food for the trip. I'm assuming everybody starts with things like a bedroll and whatnot to sleep in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was smart
Yeah.
enough to buy a second water skin because, water skins only carry a half a gallon of water.
Yep, so who's doing what? Everybody set up your marching order. Who's the first lookout, who's the rear lookout, and who's doing what in the middle?
I could make a map. I don't have any survival skills.
Well, you don't really need to make a map when you're on the road.
Okay.
But if you
The
want, if you
marching
want,
orders mainly for in dungeons.
the marching order is for dungeons and overworld travel. But if you wanted to make
Well,
a
I
map,
mean that.
I was just gonna say that I do have a passive survival of 4, so I could fairly well, be working towards that if I had to.
okay, in order to have a passive survival of 4, you need to have a survival bonus of -6.
What are you talking about?
Your passive
I mean,
survival
that's what I
is-
have. That's what.
Your passive survival is 14.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I just forgot that at the 10. 14.
Question for you, actually. What is passive perception? Is it 10 plus your perception score?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That means since I have a +2 in perception, that means mine would be 12.
Everyone's passive perceptions should be listed on their stat blocks in the senses line.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the middle ranks, and I'll be in charge of making sure that we don't get lost. I'll be using passive survival to keep that from happening. Okay,
So
Well, you
you're
go-
navigating.
I'm navigating.
Well, you're going to be traveling on the road, and if you read the chart, it says that it's not necessary for if you're on the road, because
So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do then.
Well, it
how
could
much
be a
food and
forager.
water? How much food and water can you get?
It depends on the forager's wisdom bonus. They get 3 plus their wisdom bonus worth of gallons of water and pounds of food each day of travel. That
3
their
plus wisdom bonus.
roll would be successful anyway.
Yeah, so I would get
people-
up to 5.
Yeah, so you'd be 5. All we need is someone else in the middle that does at least 1, which is pretty much anyone at this point.
Okay, then yeah, I'll forage then. That'll be easy enough.
All right. So the question is with the 2 highest perception and survival, where are we going to put them?
What are your scores?
I actually have to look.
The highest passive perceptions are had by Allegretto being first, then Seraph being second, and then Lizzie being third.
I'd say put
I-
Seraph in the front.
Yeah, Allegretto in the back, and then Wilkes will be with him just for protection's sake.
Allegretto in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to aid Allegretto's lookout.
Yeah,
Alright,
and in the event that something actually tries to ambush him, well, I got a sword and shield or a fucking great axe.
So Seraph is going in charge then?
well, she's leading the party, looking out for dangers up ahead.
Alright, that means Sparrow and Zid
What,
can...
what are you doing? Why'd you move Seraph to the back?
Lining them up. That's the front.
Okay.
This is the front. Don't you see the arrow?
What arrow? I see no arrows.
This arrow.
Marching order at top.
I didn't know that that's what that meant. I thought that was just showing the order in which you read the boxes.
You mean left to right?
Yeah.
It's okay, Tyler, you're sick.
We forgive you.
Okay.
I'll just take care of things then.
So where is Manu? Is he in a middle rank or what?
He's middle, yes. Just focusing on foraging.
Okay, so who's going to be the main forager?
Lizzie can do that.
Okay, Lizzie will be the main forager, and Manu will assist her, granting her a +5 bonus. Now,
Yeah, so we'll have plenty of water.
now, what would Zid and Sparrow like to do?
Yeah,
Well-
so is mine.
If you're helping somebody else, like a main lookout or a main forager or whatever, you don't have to be good at anything. You're just helping them.
Well, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing exactly.
Also,
At
Amanda,
least one of you should be up with Seraph for protection's sake.
your volume's kind of low.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to talk to us.
We're dirty heathens.
Hey, I took a shower today, thank you. I'm not a dirty heathen.
Okay, so who wants to help Seraph and the lead be a lookout?
Oh, I guess I can do it since I have a higher perception.
Okay,
Well, passive.
and then Sparrow can do literally anything else. He doesn't have to do what's on the list. He can do anything. He can be another. He can be another assistant lookout or another assistant forager. He can make a map, or he can do anything else.
Play songs, keep us entertained.
I was gonna say, I can play some songs, I can copy a map. I can't make a map just from off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kenku have zero creativity. They can only copy things.
I'm really good at copying things. I just can't make one up.
Okay, so then I guess the bard will just play music as we merrily travel along.
Sounds good.
Okay, then this looks good. There you go. There's your marching order. Now, did anyone want to buy any more food and water before leaving town?
Well, I think our survival's high enough to forge our own.
I'm sorry. Does anyone know just off the top of their head what the cost of rations are to purchase?
Give me just a second, Tyler. Actually, I'm pulling up all the shop stuff right now.
Because I just want to. I'm at. Oh, what?
I was gonna say I got it right here. A day of
What
ration.
page, PJ?
Isn't it 2 gold a day?
It's 1 day of rations is
5-7.
Oh, 5 silver. So for us, it'd be 7.5 silver.
Wait, hold on. What are you gonna say, PJ?
5 silver.
5 silver. Okay. Then I'll just live with what I have. I have 10 days. That should be more than enough. And I most likely won't be rolling poorly on. I mean, I'm not rolling for survival, but you get my point.
Yeah.
I should be okay.
Here's how this works. Based on the foraging, based on the total passive survival for foraging, I will determine through a series of behind-the-scenes mathematical tables that you guys don't need to see, and probably don't want to see. It would drive you nuts. It would drive you
Bet me.
crazy.
As a fellow DM, I think I would want to learn it.
If you
I'd
insist,
rather see it myself.
I will show you guys later, but it is nuts. But yeah, it basically determines...
Have you met us?
It basically determines how many days you guys can go before you have to consume some of your own resources. And if you choose not to consume any of your own resources, or if you don't have the ability to, then you guys will suffer a level of exhaustion. Which could be bad, depending on what days you run into, combats.
Let's go then. Hurry up. Let's go.
So, I guess the entire party is ready to set out. It's a very nice day. It's sunny, few clouds. Temperature is fine. Now, I just need to do some teeny bit of math. You guys can talk to each other, if you want.
Okay, first order of business, we need to get a Chinese DM. That way the math is a hell of a lot quicker than this.
I would shoot down your motion for a Chinese DM and rather have Korean. They actually are faster.
I was about to say that. What the fuck?
I was gonna say, at the very least, this math that he's doing could lead us into actually some combat, which is pretty interesting. I mean, because me and Peach talked about the way he's doing this random encounter stuff over the course of the travel, and I think that isn't it possible we could run into like 2 or 3 combats over the course of a travel like this?
I actually determined a different way to handle encounters during overworld travel.
Is it the way we talked about?
No, it's a unique way. It doesn't actually have
Okay.
anything to do with die rolls.
Oh, okay.
Less die rolls usually the better. So
Let's see. So, with Manu's help, Lizzie's passive survival is 20.
So we should all stare at Lizzie and wait for the food.
That's what I'm doing.
Stairs.
I'm assuming the Kenku wants lots of berries and shit that has seeds in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it.
Okay. You guys head on out, traveling southeast from Neverwinter. Neverwinter is, of course, on the Sword Coast, so constantly you guys can look to your right, toward the west, and see the horizon over the great ocean. Smells like the ocean, it's nice and salty. And you guys are traveling at a normal pace, right?
I believe that was the agreement.
Yes.
So you keep traveling along, foraging for food, foraging for water, and you always get enough stuff to feed everybody. On the third day of your travel, you come to the ruins of Leyland. It's a small town through which the road connecting Waterdeep and Neverwinter runs. Nobody's really certain what became of it, but it is completely abandoned these days. Just a few empty, dilapidated buildings, all of which have been thoroughly looted by now. They're very rotted, very dusty, from years of rainfall and lack of upkeep.
And there's absolutely no one here.
There are no people.
And there's no card here.
Well, you can use the compass once per day.
Well, I don't see any reason that we couldn't check it to see if anything's changed.
Okay, Seraph uses the compass. It points in the same 3 directions it did before.
Okay. At the very least, it appears that it's remaining stable in its position.
Which means if it hasn't changed and we've moved this far, then those are very far away.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah, Mano does look over it, and he's aware that it's possible that maybe some spirits reside here, but they probably left long ago, so he's not going to worry about it right now.
So,
As they're moving...
What?
As they're moving through, Wilkes sort of looks around for anything of interest. Not extremely thoroughly, just sort of glancing around as they walk.
Okay, you glance around. You look into a couple of buildings. Occasionally, you break from the road to look inside a house or two. Most of the houses don't really have anything in them. They've all been cleaned out. Most of the beds are void of mattresses and pillows and blankets too. They're just bed frames. And one of the houses has a really thick, muddy carpet sprawled out onto the floor, with nothing on top of it.
No sign of anyone having been here for a while?
Well, do you want to look around to see if there's been any sign of, activity here recently?
Yeah,
People.
this is
No,
weird.
Other
Wait a minute, Nick. Why don't we get into a battle-ready position and see if there's anything mindless in here by making noise?
Just by moving, we should have attracted any mindless attention.
If they're close
Is that-
enough.
Well, yeah, but considering we've been checking out houses and stuff, we would have either attracted them or noticed them.
Manu is just sort of like staying there, just kind of smoking his pipe, I guess, while he's waiting for everyone to make up their minds.
Yeah, Wilkes wants to search around for any signs of people because this is kind of weird. He's not used to finding ghost towns without a reason.
Okay. Then Wilkes and Zid, I'm assuming, are going to look around the town. Does anyone else do anything? Or do you guys just kind of sit in the grass and wait?
I'm just kind of scavenging around, picking up anything interesting that I find. I just pocket.
I would like to ask a quick question concerning Manu, really quickly. Does Manu have any knowledge, or at least do you have any established way in your own canon lore of tracking ghosts by residual leftovers? Is there ectoplasm or something in your canon that allow me to track things during daytime?
Don't ask me what my canon is. I'm trying to follow the Forgotten Realms lore.
Well, in terms
But
of the Forgotten Realms lore, then, is
as
there anything
far
that can be
as
used to track them like that?
As far as I know, there is no such thing as ectoplasm. That's like an Elder Scrolls thing.
Okay.
Or a
I just wanted to
Ghostbusters
ask.
thing.
Continue.
I was just thinking, don't cross the lasers.
Ectoplasm is a pretty common trope in paranormal activity type of stuff now.
Well, so, like I was asking, what does everyone else do? You just sit in the grouse and wait for everyone else to finish?
Well,
I'm just
Manu-
kind of standing as lookout.
Manu will take the time to start scavenging around for the foodstuffs for the day. I'm just assume he's doing that in the off time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Lizzie will do the same thing.
Farrah's just kind of looking around, seeing if he sees anything interesting, and if anything catches his eye, he's just gonna pocket it instantly.
Well, as Wilkes is looking around, he does notice that muddy carpet I mentioned earlier, seems to be frequently moved. Like, there are a lot of patches of dust where they shouldn't be, and sections where there should be dust where there isn't.
He's gonna move the carpet away from where it currently is.
You move the carpet, and underneath it is a wooden hatch.
Oh god.
He's gonna let everyone know that. And ask if anyone to check this out, because this place is kind of sketchy.
Well, Manu kind of thinks over it for a second. Well, we've been making good time on our travel so far. I think we have time. I think we have time for a little side activity.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep forgetting PJ isn't a dickhead like I am. There's not going to be traps around every fucking turn.
Don't say that.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise.
So, having heard this, I'm assuming everyone goes to check out the hatch, right?
Yes.
Sparrow's going, yeah.
Seraph isn't going to go. She's just going to lay out on the road and enjoy the sun. She tells you guys to let her know if you need anything.
Okay.
Okay, so you are at the hatch. What do you do?
Hold on one moment.
Well, first of all, I'd like to know what the hatch is made out of.
It's made of wood. It has iron hinges and an iron knob.
It's like a knocker thing. It's like a knocker thing.
It's kind of like a knocker.
ring?
What do you call this? Yeah, the ring.
Is
Okay.
there any keyhole?
There's no keyhole, no.
Would you require a roll, PJ, just to see if there's any obvious signs of tampering to the door? Like traps or whatnot?
Tempering? No, I don't require a roll for that. If Allegretto is going to examine the hatch more carefully, he would eventually learn that there appears to be a string wound quite tightly to the bottom of the hatch.
Oh, look,
That's
a
no
string. How cute.
Probably set off some sort of alarm.
Well,
yeah,
now
if it's wound tight though, it might set it off either way if we cut it or if we open it.
Who's got the highest sleight of hand?
I got a 4 bonus to it.
Yeah, it looks like Sparrow. It looks like Sparrow has the highest bonus.
No, fuck that. Look, I want to go over and ask Sarah if she'll help us out. I just noticed she got a +6.
You people can't do these things yourself.
No, because I know you're not going to kill that bitch, so if it is a trap, she ain't going to die.
Allegretto also has a 5, just so you know. Because he has high
But-
attacks.
But he's killable. He's expendable.
But yeah, in
that's
some
the
ways,
change.
Seraph is too. PJ's not going to hesitate to kill her if we put her in danger.
I would also point out we're starting to stray over into meta and outside of game.
Yes, but I'm not too worried about it. Either way, what?
No, go ahead, PJ.
Either way, Seraph agrees to go over and help you out with the string. So basically what she does is she carefully snips the string, holding on to the bottom part that isn't attached to the hatch anymore, and then she ties it to a nearby latch, so that, you know, it won't go flying off into the tunnel. Then she says, "You're welcome," and goes back outside.
Good. 100% chance of success. Now we can check it out.
Manu goes ahead and just says, well, I guess there's got to be something dangerous down there, and he's going to go ahead and put his mask down.
Is it dark down there? Like, what
It-
do we see looking in there?
It is quite dark, but if you squint your eyes just a bit, you can see at the end of the tunnel there is a door with light shining through the edges.
All right, now what do I see? Since I have dark vision.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, okay, well, you see the same thing. Just, you know,
Look, it's-
you can see that it's a
A
tunnel.
little brighter.
And you can see that it's a tunnel and that there is a door with light under it.
Yeah, everyone with dark vision, you can see the same thing, except you're not squinting.
Squint.
If we squint, do we see more?
No.
it's a
Damn.
featureless tunnel.
Hey, I thought I'd give it a shot.
Although I guess I could tell you that the door does not have a keyhole.
Yeah, you fucker.
What?
Okay, so there's no... Okay. There's no keyhole. Okay, is there any way I can walk up to this door and just kind of listen?
The tunnel leading up to the door is big enough for all of you to fit in.
It's big enough for all of us. So potentially whatever is in there could be big.
I mean, big enough for all of us could mean 1 by 1, couldn't it?
Well, the tunnel is 10 feet wide, but the door is medium-sized.
Oh, okay. Large creatures can still squeeze. Ugh. Okay, can we listen? Can we get close to the door and listen, maybe? Zid wants to do that.
Okay, Zid climbs down into the tunnel, and then he goes up to the door and listens. You hear a couple of people talking, and they are speaking in common, and basically they're just talking about how they're asking if it's worth going through with this lifestyle, but then the other one warns them that if they bail now, they'll get killed.
Okay, so Zid's gonna go back to the group, because I don't want to be hurt or screwed over in any way. He explains to the group exactly what he heard, and since I'm kind of playing off of his traits, but he's asking, since he's not from around here and he doesn't exactly know your customs, should he just go down and knock?
Actually, Allegretto was thinking about being blatant enough to just go down and knock on the door.
For once, I'll actually agree.
Yeah.
It seems I don't see any reason to be fearful. They don't sound like monsters.
I swear, if there's a cannon on the other side of that door,
Well, that's kind of. Well, that's why Allegretto wants to be the one to knock on the door. He's chaotic for a reason.
Assume that I follow the group.
Allegretto tells everybody else to get ready.
So, does everybody go down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm heading down.
Alright, Allegretto.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand behind the Kenku, and I am preparing an action to hide right behind the Kenku.
I follow
I'm not
with
very
Allegretto.
tall.
I don't care how tall you are. I will drop to my knees if I have to. I am hiding behind your little feathery ass.
Let me know when everybody's done, because I have actually figured out what I want to say when I knock on this door.
Okay. Well, Allegretto.
I follow with Allegretto. I have my axe drawn, but I'm using it more like a walking stick than a weapon right now. You can imagine that?
Yes, I can. Allegretto approaches the door, and he knocks on it. The muttering that you heard before immediately stops, and then the two of them start saying, "We weren't expecting any new members, were we? Better wake up everyone else."
Uh-oh.
Well, then you hear one of them approach the door, and without opening it, they say, "Who's there?"
Yeah, hi, my name is Allegretto. I'm here to take a census on the population in the area. It's just our biannual thing, something we normally do.
How are
you doing today?
What the fuck, Mr. Chaos?
How did you find the hatch?
Well, I have an address listed here as, and Allegretto just whips off some random address. Last time we did the survey, we had a reporting of 4 people here. Has that changed recently?
This is a private residence. Please take us off your list.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I've got it written down here that we were free to keep coming as long as somebody was living here.
Well, that situation has changed. Please leave and don't come back.
Hey, Keith, since I have a high-ass charisma, do you want me to take this over?
Well, hang on. PJ, what would it be? And I'm going to stop right here before I actually do it. Would it be to... What kind of a role would it be to ask them to open the door and sign a piece of paper? If I were to say, hey, I need a signature verifying that, and I'll be on my way. What kind of role would I need?
Well, persuasion.
How high is my persuasion?
Well, doesn't look like you're proficient,
not
so
high
it'll just
enough.
be a charisma check.
But you have a +1.
Yeah.
I'm not proficient either, but I have a +5 to charisma.
Manu could do it.
The bird is equal to me.
Well, let's figure it out. It's like, but somebody, my idea is somebody's got to get a signature just so that we can get them to open the door.
Either me or Sparrow has a better chance of getting this check, so...
I mean, so do I. I mean, what does Sparrow have for persuasion?
Plus 5.
Actually, wait, no, she can't. Okay.
Well, then I would hope at least somebody else in the party realizes what I'm trying to do
You're
and
just
will
trying to
actually
get the
play
door.
along.
Yeah, you just.
Couldn't
want to-
actually hold on? Can I give an idea? I think I have an idea. Couldn't you ask for a signature and not attempt to check for it? Then Sparrow could copy what you said and try it with persuasion.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that.
That would
Yeah,
work.
But PJ, would that work?
Better question, would PJ be okay with this?
That sounds really strange. Why would your characters want to do that?
Well, here's
It-
why.
it-
Here's why. He doesn't know how many of us there are. The only one that's been speaking is Allegretto. So if the bird mimics his exact voice, his exact tone, then they think they're talking to the same person.
But
2-on-1, somebody would still open the door.
Yeah, but why would you have the Kenku repeat what Allegretto is saying when you can just have Allegretto say it? If you're worried about Sparrow being the most persuasive member of the party, you can just have him help Allegretto.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we should really do that then. How much of a bonus would that grant? How much does helping work?
It just grants them advantage.
That's fine then.
All right, so it is going to be. I'm going to end up rolling for this then.
Yeah,
With advantage, yes.
roll persuasion
Well,
with
yeah.
advantage.
What's advantage? +2.
No, you roll twice and use the higher result.
Yeah, so if we did your mimic idea and you help Sparrow by doing this, they'd get a higher bonus to both rolls.
Yeah, but the point is that I mean, most likely these aren't very strong people anyway, so there's a very, very high chance that we'll be able to convince them regardless.
All right. Well, in that case, then I'm going to say it as I roll, and be like, okay, I'd be more than happy to take you off our mailing list. However, I am going to need a signature confirming that this is your wishes.
Oh,
A 20. Okay. The man behind the door hears you and says, I just have to sign something? I suppose I can do that. And then he opens the door. When he opens the door, you can see that he is dressed in a long, hooded robe, black in color, with some green lining. You can't see his face because his hood is up, but he appears to be human-shaped. He looks at you and says, okay, where do I sign?
Does he notice the rest of us standing here?
He does notice you, actually. And then he's like,
They're readied actions. So then, to catch him off guard, would I be able to prevent him from shutting the door?
yeah, you can prevent him from shutting the door. And then he'll immediately stumble back and start yelling for his allies.
Manu will then take the opportunity to rush into the room then.
I was going to say, which direction did the door open, BJ? Outward or inward?
It opens inward.
All right.
Um,
Well,
As he stumbles, now are we doing this? Like, is he really
no,
stumbling
it
back?
was a question. I didn't actually commit to that action.
Okay, because I can run intimidation and keep him quiet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But please don't ask to make skill checks, okay? I will tell you when I want you to roll a check, okay?
Yeah.
Just tell me what your characters do.
Okay, so what does Allegretto do then, since he's the lead?
Well, I technically opened the door with the expectation that the people behind me had stuff ready. I got the
Okay.
door open.
Wilkes puts his arm out in the door frame in case he tries to close it.
Mm-hmm.
Pointedly, the arm holding the axe.
I said, is there enough space for Manu to get into the room?
Not with Allegretto and Wilkes both in the way. But you can pass
Okay.
through those spaces, just it'll be difficult.
That's fine then. I will take the chance to move into the room then. And I just want to immediately get a sense for what it looks like. What do I see?
It is a small living quarters. There are 7 beds, some with green sheets, some with purple sheets, and a big black rug laid out on the floor. The other guy that you heard him talking to doesn't seem to be around, and if he was around, then he fell asleep. Because laying in the beds are 4 other hooded people, all laying in their beds. But the ruckus seems to have woken them up. They're just now stirring.
Okay, and the dude who stumbled back, is he still on the floor?
He's not on the
Or
floor.
is he...
He didn't fall down. He just stepped back and is yelling for his allies.
Okay, Zid wants to pass through the door with Manu.
Okay, so Zid and Manu are currently in the lead, followed by Allegretto and Wilkus. And then... Where was Lizzie in all this?
Lizzie was just tagging along.
Was she all the way in the back?
She
Yeah,
would
but
be
I-
by Arrow at this point.
I would like to ask one quick thing. Would I be able to attempt to throw a net onto the man behind the door, the one who is now standing there?
Can you throw a net onto the guy at the door? Yes, you can.
Okay, then I will take an attempt to do that. Did we set up a thing for the net? Yes, we did. Cool. No advantage though. Right?
He's surprised. But so it cancels each other out since you always have.
Yeah, so it would only be 11. It might be enough, is it?
Let me check. 11 is not enough. He just barely slips out from under the net.
I'm used to that. It's okay.
Well, give me just a minute, and I'll move everybody to the battle map. Because I'm assuming you're all going to fight these guys.
Well, not quite yet. As they walk into the room, Wilkus speaks up. I am Wilkus Sharil, Paladin of Corellin the Protector. I can't say that I'm exactly too happy to see an abandoned town with a secret hideout and men in robes as black as the darkest night. Care to explain yourselves?
Or explain your corpses to our master after we've killed you.
That's all I needed to hear.
That sounded way too cool.
Which of us? Him or me?
Yeah, he made it really... Both of you.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was actually pretty
Give
good.
credit where credit's due.
Yeah, so, let me just try and get everybody moved to the map. Okay, let's see. Menu and Wilkus in the lead. Followed by Allegretto and Zid. No, wait, no. Wilkus wasn't in the lead, was he? I think Zid said he ran into the room.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Zid-
went by
yes.
Manu.
Okay, so
Yes.
Wilkus is next to Allegretto.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, turn fog on. Expose for your characters. And then here we go. Oh, these guys aren't asleep anymore, so... Let me get rid of those icons. And let me know when everyone can see the map.
No, I'm good.
I can see it.
Me too.
Alright, give me just 1 minute.